So, what is her name? This is a video I'm very, very happy and very thankful to be able to put out. If you guys have watched along, and if you have not, then this might be news to you. We decided on her name the day before our anatomy scan in our 19th week, where we found out about her little issue she has with her abdomen. And it gave me a lot of comfort to know her name after finding that out. And so I'm very just grateful, and I'm excited to share her name with you guys finally. Originally, we did not agree on any names, and it was kind of a struggle. And I honestly was worried we wouldn't be able to decide on one until after she was born. And I worried that we would be in the hospital looking at her, not knowing what name to assign to her or give to her. So we ended up with a list that I just kept going over, hoping to give her a name before she came out. And we actually ended up with 4 names that were solid and were for sure on the list. And then the day before that appointment, before our anatomy scan, Luke looked at me and said her name is this name. And that's the last we talked about it for a few days, and that's been her name ever since. I think he just needed time to think about it. And as soon as he said her name, I instantly was like, you are absolutely right, that's her name, and that's it. We're moving on, and she's now I hate to say the word assigned, but she now has been given this name. And I just don't think there's a name more perfect for her. And I can't wait to share that with you guys. So our top 4 names that we had, and she could have ended up with any one of these 4 names had we made it to the hospital with a list. The first on there was Haven, which I think is absolutely gorgeous. I feel like if we had waited till the very end, this might have ended up being her name. I love it. I think it is so beautiful. The second one on the list is Navy, which I think is so spunky and so cute and super modern sounding. And then the third is Miller, aka Millie, which I love the name Millie. Miller just kind of gives it more of like a name feel versus just a nickname. But the name Millie, I'm obsessed with that name. And then the 4th name is Sailor, like Taylor with an S. And I've always liked this name too. Something about this name, it just gives me like the feels. I don't know, I just really like how it sounds. I like that it's a little bit different, but not, out there. And so these were our top 4 names that we were going to take to the hospital most likely and name her from there. However, the day before the anatomy scan, we were watching the basketball game. And I'm not really sure what happened. Nothing leading up to this was expected. And we hadn't really talked about names. And I want to say a couple weeks at that point. Luke walks over to me and tells me her name is Story. And you guys can imagine my absolute shock, because that was the name I wanted to name her. The minute I found out I was having a girl, inside of me, the name Story was her name. It just came out of nowhere. Even though I've loved it for years and years, it was just the name inside of me that said, this is what her name is supposed to be. And it was vetoed immediately upon telling him. And he said no the entire time. And it was to the point where I had stopped even throwing it out there, and we had decided on our 4 names. And I don't know what it was and what hit him, but he, out of the blue, said this is her name. And that was the moment. That was it. He wasn't going to change his mind after that. He didn't try to change his mind. But in that moment, I was just like, oh my gosh, like this is for sure. This is her name. And I was right from day one. And he either came around, or he was just saying he didn't like it because he wanted time to think about it. Either way, he has called her that now ever since, and we are 100% sure that's her name. We have names on items for her, so there's a strong chance this will not change at all. And then her middle name will be Ryan, which is my sister's name. And you guys know my sister is like the love of my life. And I'm so happy to pass her middle name down to my daughter. So her name is Story Ryan. And I know a lot of you guys thought that her name was going to be Truly, and I'm not sure if I said the word Truly in an update video, because I got a lot of comments thinking that I had slipped up and said her name was Truly. And guys, that name is absolutely beautiful. Like, I have never met someone or a child named that. But I think it was just maybe I just said the word Truly. I say that word quite frequently, I feel like, in my everyday life, and I think people just thought that I slipped up like I did with the gender and said the baby's name. But no, that is not her name. I did put it in the beginning of the video on the list just because so many of you guys thought that was her name. So I was just trying to throw you off a little bit. But yeah, her name is Story, and something inside of me just, it makes me, I don't know, when he called her that name, I was just really like, I just felt like this affirmation of like, you're absolutely right. And I was right. This has always been her name, and this is what it was meant to be. But truly, up until that moment, I thought 100% sure that she would not have that name, because he had vetoed it very strongly. He truly had just said no. Truly had said no up until the moment that he said it. And I was in complete shock and disbelief, but utter excitement to the point that I was almost emotional. So I do want to thank all of you for coming here and listening to the name, and so many of you guys rooted for this name, and I don't blame you, because I feel like when I just said this name and the names we loved won't be using video, I feel like I saw myself light up like the 4th of July. It was just something in me that said, this is it. And I'm so thankful that this is her name. So yeah, in a few months we will have baby Story here, and I'm so excited to call her by her name with you guys. And yeah, hope you guys like it, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.